massive, murky, moody.
I got a bit of a fright. I took off for the bushes.
It was just a large black mass.
Twice as deep as the North Sea.
There's large cave formations, we understand, and maybe supports the theory that Nessie can come and go.
Shrouding the most enduring of mysteries.
Something big is down there, but what is it?
Possibly it's Nessie herself.
Encounter the Secrets of Loch Ness, Sunday at 7 on 4.
In an hour, Africa Express investigates reports that the local rag trade in Zimbabwe is being undercut by imports of charity clothing from the West. That's coming up at 8. Before that, the latest Channel 4 news with Jon Snow and Kathy Smith, with the time coming up to 7 o'clock.
Sealed with a handshake, the rebels are back, but is their Conservative Party any more united? Good evening. The white flag of surrender flies above Downing Street, according to Tony Blair, challenging John Major for allowing his rebels back without conditions. To the increasingly Eurosceptic-sounding John Major, it is Tony Blair running up the white flag over Europe, giving in to every demand from Brussels. Tonight, where does the newly forged unity now take the Conservative Party? Also tonight, some excellent manufacturing figures, output up and exports up. But are they too good? We speak with the Treasury Secretary, Jonathan Aitken, about the figures, the rebels and his libel writs. Also tonight, another chapter in the Rwandan nightmare. Confusion over what role the government, the UN and the refugees are playing. Is there a campaign to terrorize those fleeing the camps? We report from the town in the Ukraine where they're about to open a new reactor and where the clock tells the time and reads the fallout. And just 8 new women QCs out of 71 sworn in today. Cherie Booth, one of them, who is married to Tony Blair, wants greater equality.
One of the problems is women are not applying at the moment. And I think the more that we say to women, do apply because you can do it, the more, as we see today, we have 8 women silks, and we should have more in the future.
The Labour leader, Tony Blair, has accused the Prime Minister of flying the white flag over Downing Street after his decision to invite the 8 Euro rebels back into the Tory fold. Mr. Blair said that Mr. Major had failed to extract any concessions from the rebels, even a commitment to support the government on a vote of confidence. The Prime Minister hit back, highlighting Labour's policy differences. As our political editor Eleanor Goodman now reports, the Commons clash followed a defiant series of media appearances by the newly rehabilitated rebels.
The rebels ended their exile as they have spent most of it, basking in the warm glow of publicity. They insisted that their stand had been vindicated by the way the Prime Minister had moved towards a more Eurosceptical position, and that they retained the right as Conservative backbenchers to go on promoting their views and rebelling where necessary. About the only promise they acknowledged giving was not to detonate the party altogether.
We're not Guy Fawkes. We don't want to blow up the party. On the contrary, we think that if you're choosing between 2 parties on Europe, then obviously the Conservative Party is your only choice.
Far from admitting the error of their ways, they repeated it was the government which had made a misjudgment.
We maintain our position. The statement of principles which we issue, our mini-manifesto so-called, will still be the central point of our aims and objectives throughout the rest of this Parliament.
There is going to be no going back on what we fought for over the past 5 months. We're certainly not, for example, going back on the pledge that we've given to Britain's fishermen to back the Save Britain's Fish campaign.
At question time, the Labour leader mocked Mr. Major for tolerating what he called the rebels' victory parade. The Prime Minister tried to turn the argument back at Labour, challenging Mr. Blair on divisions within the Labour Party.
On clause 4, which half his, I think he called them infantile MEPs, want to keep, he doesn't, and his deputy leader does one day and doesn't the next. These are party matters. Will he tell us what his position is?
Oh no, there's one very big difference. I lead my party, he follows his.
Mr. Blair milked the moment for all it was worth before continuing.
After all his tough talk at the beginning, about no unity through appeasement. He's caved in, his party's still divided, and the white flag flies over Downing Street.
I will give the right honourable gentleman a real difference. We have been leading in Europe. He will follow in Europe on every issue.
Mr Major's Eurosceptical tone pleased most Tories, who are relieved that this painful episode in the party's history appears to be over. The rebels' internal exile began after 8 of them abstained on the second reading of the European Finance Bill, defying the Prime Minister's decision to turn the issue into a vote of confidence. The government carried out its threat to withdraw the whip from the rebels the next day. And they were joined by another Eurosceptic, Sir Richard Boddy, who resigned the whip in protest. A week later, 8 of the rebels joined a Conservative revolt against an increase in value-added tax on fuel, and the government was defeated by 8 votes. The following night, in an interview with Channel 4 News, the Prime Minister made it clear the rebels wouldn't get the whip back unless they toed the line.